10 totally normal thoughts that make you feel crazy, the brain's little tricks. Have you ever wondered why you sometimes act in ways that make no sense? Like repeating a word until it suddenly sounds meaningless, or laughing right after almost getting into an accident. Our brains work in ways no one expects. They can make you anxious in moments of happiness, feel like a fraud even when you're successful, or dwell on things that could have gone differently. It may sound irrational, but it's just your brain trying to protect you, though sometimes in rather silly ways. Here are 10 strange but true facts about how the human brain works, things that might make you laugh, nod, and think, yep, I've definitely done that. 1. Semantic satiation. When words suddenly lose their meaning. Have you ever repeated a word so many times that it suddenly sounds strange, as if it no longer means anything? Words like door or table, for example. That's called semantic satiation, a moment when your brain gets tired of processing the same information over and over again. Just like a phone switching to power-saving mode, your brain reduces energy use by temporarily turning off its interpretation of that word. However, emotionally charged words like love or hate tend to resist this effect, because they're stored deep within the emotional centers of the brain, not just the language areas. 2. The strange relief after a near miss. You almost drop your phone but catch it at the last second. Your heart races, your palms sweat, and then, unexpectedly, you laugh. That's the near-miss euphoria, an ancient survival response. Your body first releases adrenaline to prepare for danger, then floods you with dopamine, the pleasure chemical, as a reward for surviving. Our ancestors relied on this mechanism to remember dangers and stay alert. The closer the call, the stronger the euphoria, because your brain is literally celebrating a victory for life. 3. The fear of happiness. Have you ever felt anxious right when everything in life seems perfect? When work is smooth, relationships are good, and suddenly your brain whispers, something bad must be coming. That's the fear of happiness, a modern echo of an ancient survival instinct. In prehistoric times, relaxing too much could mean getting eaten by predators. Today, there are no lions hiding nearby, but your brain still acts as if danger is imminent, constantly scanning for threats even when life is good. Ironically, this instinct to stay safe often ruins our moments of joy. 4. Solomon's paradox. Wise for others, blind for yourself. When your friend faces a problem, you can easily tell them what to do. But when you're in the same situation, all logic seems to vanish. That's Solomon's paradox, the ability to see clearly in others' lives but lose perspective in your own. It happens because when emotions aren't involved, your brain thinks rationally and objectively. But when feelings get tangled up, your clarity disappears. The trick? Pretend you're advising a friend. When you detach emotionally and look at your situation from the outside, your brain regains its ability to think clearly. 5. Post-achievement depression. When victory feels empty, you've just achieved something big, finished a marathon, landed your dream job, or finally reached a long-awaited goal, but instead of feeling proud, you feel empty. This is post-achievement depression, and it's far more common than you might think. While chasing a goal, your brain releases dopamine to keep you motivated. But the moment you succeed, that flow of dopamine suddenly drops, leaving you directionless. It doesn't mean you're ungrateful or unfulfilled, it's simply your brain craving a new pursuit, another reason to keep moving forward. 6. Impostor syndrome. When success makes you afraid, you get promoted or praised, but instead of celebrating, you think, I just got lucky. That's impostor syndrome, the fear that your success isn't real and that one day you'll be found out. Nearly 70% of people experience this at some point, even famous figures like Maya Angelou and Neil Gaiman. Ironically, if you worry that you might be a fraud, you almost certainly aren't, because true imposters never doubt themselves. 7. Counterfactual guilt, the what-if game of the mind. If only I'd studied one more hour. You blame yourself for things that didn't even go wrong. That's counterfactual guilt, when your brain invents alternate timelines to imagine better outcomes. Strangely, the more responsible you are, the more likely you are to fall into this trap. Careless people rarely feel it, they simply blame the world instead. So if you often find yourself haunted by what if, take it as a sign, you're probably a thoughtful person who truly cares. 8. The beautiful mess effect. When vulnerability becomes strength, you might think showing your weaknesses makes you look fragile, but psychology says the opposite. Vulnerability is what builds real connection. When others open up about their fears or imperfections, we see them as brave and genuine. Yet when we do it ourselves, we feel exposed and weak. The truth is, your messiness makes you more relatable and trustworthy, because nobody connects with perfection. Only with honesty. 9. Thought-action fusion. When thinking feels like doing, ever had a dark thought, what if I did something bad? And instantly felt guilty, even though you didn't do anything? That's thought-action fusion, where your brain treats thinking about something wrong as if you actually did it. It's common among people with anxiety or OCD. The more you try to push the thought away, the more it lingers. But remember, intrusive thoughts don't define who you are. They're just mental spam that accidentally lands in your inbox. 10. Empathic pain. When you feel others' pain as your own, when you see someone get hurt and flinch, or tear up watching a sad movie, that's empathic pain, caused by mirror neurons in your brain. These neurons allow you to feel what others feel, forming the foundation of empathy. But when you absorb too much emotional pain, your brain builds a protective wall to prevent burnout. That's why nurses, therapists, and rescue workers often grow emotionally numb, not because they don't care, but because they've reached the limit of their compassion. Conclusion: the brain is a paradox, a protector, a deceiver, and sometimes, the source of our deepest pain. It creates love, fear, guilt, and comfort all at once. Understanding these strange mechanisms won't make us perfect, but it helps us see that imperfection is what makes us beautifully, authentically human.